Have you ever met someone incredibly smart, but also kind of sad or brilliant, but weirdly awkward in social situations? Maybe they seem distant at parties, or they overanalyze things that everyone else just lets go. That's not a coincidence, and it's not a personal flaw either. High IQ comes with a set of hidden psychological traits that most people never talk about. Traits that can make life both richer and harder at the same time, and some of them might genuinely surprise you. Let's start with the one that affects high IQ people the most: overthinking. People with high IQs are constantly analyzing, not just problems at work or school, but conversations they had 3 days ago, the tone of a text message, their own decisions, their own emotions, and even the way they think about their own thinking. Psychologists call this meta-cognition. It means your brain is always running in the background, observing itself. And while that sounds like a superpower, it almost always comes at a cost. A study published in the journal Intelligence found that people with higher IQs actually reported more anxiety, not less. The reason is simple. A smarter brain doesn't just solve more problems. It also finds more things to worry about in the first place. It sees risks others miss. It imagines outcomes others never consider. So the same mind that helps you excel at work is the same mind keeping you awake at 3 in the morning, replaying a conversation you had last Tuesday. Now here's something that almost nobody talks about openly. High IQ is deeply connected to loneliness. Research by psychologists Kanazawa and Lee found something fascinating. Highly intelligent people are actually less satisfied the more they socialize. Not more satisfied, less. They genuinely need fewer connections, but the connections they do have need to be deep, meaningful, and real. Think about what that means in everyday life. When your mind naturally operates at a faster or deeper level, it becomes genuinely difficult to find people who truly get you. Small talk doesn't just feel boring, it feels almost painful. Surface-level friendships don't just feel unfulfilling, they feel draining. And the hardest part? This isn't arrogance. It isn't thinking you're better than others. It's simply a psychological mismatch between how your mind works and how most social situations are designed. And that mismatch is genuinely, quietly painful. The third trait is one that looks like laziness from the outside, but is actually something very different. High IQ individuals tend to have extremely high internal standards for their work, for their relationships, and most of all, for themselves. Psychologists describe this as perfectionism driven by awareness. The smarter you are, the more clearly you can see the gap between where you currently are and where you know you could be. And that gap is uncomfortable. Sometimes it's paralyzing. This is exactly why so many gifted people struggle with procrastination. It's not that they don't care. It's actually the opposite. They care so much, and they can see so clearly how something could go wrong, that starting at all feels like a risk. The fear of producing something imperfect is stronger than the motivation to begin. So they wait, and sometimes never start at all, even when they have every capability to succeed. Now for something a little lighter, but just as revealing. Research from the University of Vienna found that people who appreciate dark or absurdist humor tend to score significantly higher on intelligence tests. And the reason is genuinely interesting. Understanding dark humor isn't just about finding something funny. It requires your brain to process multiple layers simultaneously: irony, taboo, social context, and logic, all at the same time. It's actually a form of rapid, complex thinking, disguised as a joke. So when a high IQ person laughs at something that others find uncomfortable or strange, it's not because they're cold